morning after my morning devotion, I had asked, well, during it, I asked God to open my spiritual eyes. And then, so I got up after that. I went to brush my teeth. And then I had this sensation or this, feeling to just look into the mirror. And so I just look up. And I felt this overwhelming presence, like I was not alone. And then it's like it was telling me to look into my eyes, and I was looking directly into my own eyes. And then I could no longer really see myself. What I was seeing was like the presence of God, like engulfing me and surrounding me. Like I was basically being surrounded by Him. And then it just came that this is His image surrounding me. This is His glory that's just around me. I just felt like it wasn't me. I wasn't seeing myself. I was seeing Him. And that's how I believe we should all see ourselves. We should all see God when we even look at ourselves. Of course, other people should look at us and see God because we are representations of Him, right? But we should also see it ourselves. So if we can't see it in ourselves, how are others going to see it? And how are we really going to believe the promises of God and the blessings that He has for us and the purpose that He has made? How are we really believing the gift of salvation, and that at the end of this life we have life with Him into eternity? So I think we really need to open our eyes and ask Him to open our spiritual eyes so that we can see Him engulfing us. We say we are under the shadow of the Almighty and we're hiding under His wings and He's the rock. But are we seeing it? Are we really looking past ourselves into the Spirit? And this is basically, it comes not at the end, but I was watching an interview with God, a show. It's on Netflix. It's a must see. I recommend it. And there was a thing that he said. His name was Paul, and he basically wanted some answers from God. He was in a really dark place, and his life was in shambles. But there was one thing that he said that he definitely understood, and was that salvation is basically us going back to the perfection of the image that God created at Eden. So at Eden, remember, God made Adam in His image, right? Made in His image, like so us. Therefore we are made in His image, in the perfection of, we are supposed to be a visible perfection, representation of God, of His fullness, right? Because He is the invisible God. He's too perfect for us to really see with our eyes. And so we were supposed to be a visible representation of Him in the earth. But because of the fall of man, we moved from perfect to imperfect. And because of that, we lost all this sense of who we are supposed to be. Remember, God even gave Adam and Eve dominion over the earth. They were supposed to reign over it. They were supposed to subdue it, and they were supposed to govern it. But they did not, because of the fall of man and sin entering. So as generation went on, we forgot about who we are in God and whose we are and who we are really representing, because we still have certain qualities of Him in this fallen world today. We still have people who still have moral qualities that are from God, but yet they would like to think that it's not from God. But how did you get this idea of a morality? And it's a joint thing, it's a consensus thing, it's a mass idea of morality, and this is from God. And so it is through grace, this divine grace, that when Christ came, He became the visible representation and manifestation of the glory of God, to be the great sacrifice that we need so that we can turn back into the perfection that we were made, and to do the purpose and fulfill purpose of our soul, of the purpose from the very beginning into now. So basically, we are now through Christ the perfect representation of God, and not just that when they see us, but also through our actions. So even though we have the fruit of the Spirit, love and peace and long suffering and faith and virtue and all these things, but they also see the action. Because remember, in James basically said faith without works is dead. How can you see a man that is hungry, who is down in the dumps, and all he can say is God be with you and have a nice day? how are they gonna have a nice day if you don't present them with something? So that's basically what we are and who we are in this earth. We govern it, we subdue it by the actions and being representation of who God is. Yes, because God is basically our Father, and He provides us with everything that we need, tangible and intangible. So we are a representation of Him in the earth, visible. So we should be able to give tangible and intangible gifts to others as well. We complain about starvation and poverty and all of this and murders, but what are we doing in this world to stop these things? Evil cannot end until the coming of Christ and we are translated into eternity. However, what are we doing? What kind of part are we playing in this world right now? And using the power and the dominion that we have through Christ to overcome the evil of the world, especially even in our space and even in our family. What are we doing? We have the power through Christ. We have the power to trample upon snakes and scorpions, to say, demon, get out, even out of your own life. But because of the lies of the enemy, we have been taught to believe that, just prayer and action is through your understanding of who God is and the plans that He has for us, and how we operate in Him, that allows us to go out and move. That's why you have so many prophets and miracle workers out there, because they're operating in the power of Christ. Is not just to save you, but it's also to impart and to go out. We are farmers on this earth. We were made to be farmers. We're supposed to plow and make good things. But are we farmers of Eden, or are we farmers of evil? We are made in the image of Christ. We are made in the image of God, spiritually and morally. Let us hold on. Let us see ourselves, definitely see the image of God in us and around us, so others may also see it, but not just spiritually, but also in action. I'm gonna do it too, because this is new to me, but I just wanted to share. This is so awesome. We have dominion over this world. We have power to do a lot of things and to be agents of change. We cannot do it without God. We cannot do it without Christ. And that's why a lot of things are failing, because of the fallen man, sin entering the world, and we're losing half of our godlike qualities. But we still have part, and that's what helps us to recognize Jesus and Him coming into our life, changing us, so that we can be the perfect representation of God in the earth. I'm not saying to aim for perfection. I'm not saying to work for your salvation. I'm not saying hide behind your works, even though you know you're not changing on the inside. Let God change you on the inside and be that representation and that image He created you to be, and then work in the world. Stop saying, it's their life, let them do it. Pray, let the Holy Spirit lead you, and change the world.